You have reached Red Steele's Awesome Toy Culture Review. I'm your man, Red Steele, and today I'll be reviewing Transformers Legacy Evolution Dirge. Transformers Legacy Evolution Dirge. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the fantastic details on this packaging. Up front here, you have two display windows showing you both the figure and all its accessories inside. Then on top of the packaging here, you have the Transformers Legacy Evolution logo. Then over here you have a QR code, and once you scan this QR code online, it takes you right to a website where you can read Dirge's tech spec. Then in front of the packaging here, in the corner, you have an 8+, which is the age requirement for this figure. In the corner here, you have the Takara Tommy and Transformers Generations logo. Alongside here, it says Transformers. In the middle here, you have a beautiful illustration of Dirge in this jet mode. And over here, it says Dirge. And below all that, again, you have the Transformers Legacy Evolution logo. In the corner here, you have the Hasbro emblem. And over here, it says that it is plastic-free packaging. Then outside of the packaging here, you have two profile pictures of Dirge in his robot mode. Then on the other side of the packaging here, you have a beautiful montage of all the Transformers in Legacy Evolution, starting with Optimus Prime, you have Laser Prime, you have Tarn, Hotshot, over here you have a bunch of Insecticons, and over here you have a bunch of Junkions. Then in the corner here you have the Transformers Authentic logo. Then again here it states that it is again plastic-free packaging. On the back of the package here, you have all the figures features such as Dirge in his robot mode and Dirge in his jet mode. Transformers Legacy Evolution Voyager class Dirge. Dirge was released on June 24th, 2023 with the suggested retail price of $34.99, and he's available at all major retailers. Dirge was released along with the other Transformers Legacy Evolution Voyager class Wave 3 figure, Nemesis Leo Prime. Dirge is a Generation 1 inspired figure that converts into his jet mode in 23 steps. His accessories include his two null rays and instructions. Dirge stands 7 inches tall and he is meant for fans ages 8 and up. Next I'm going to go ahead and convert Dirge from his robot mode all the way to his jet mode. But the first thing you always want to do before you transform any of your Transformers, you want to remove all of the weapons and accessories. So I'm going to take his null rays, I'm going to unpeg them, put them off to the side. Because for step number 1, don't you go ahead and take the arms and bring them all the way out, just like that. Step 2, you want to go take these forearm pieces, you got a hinge joint right there, you want to flip it up just like that. Go and do it to the other side, you got this forearm piece right there, you got a hinge joint right there, let's flip it up just like that. Step 3, you get these fists right here, you got another hinge joint right there. You want to flip that fist up just like that. Go and do it to the other side with this fist. Flip it up just like that. Step number 4. You want to take these forearm pieces right there and collapse it onto the bicep. There's a double hinge joint right there. Just kind of push it in just like that. Go and do it to the other side. Go to this forearm piece. Push it in just like that. In step number 5, you want to take these forearm pieces in that fist. Push it down just like that. Do that to the other side, this forearm piece in the fist, and push it down just like that. For step number 6, then once you take these arm pieces and bring them down just like that, do that to the other side, bring this arm piece down just like that. For step number 7, on Dirge's back there's this nose cone right there. Then once you go ahead and take that nose cone, flip it forward, you got a tab right there, you got a porthole right there. Tap it right in place, just like that. Or step 8, you get this chest piece and you got this back assembly, you got a hinge joint right there. They want you to go ahead and just pop it loose, just like that. Step 9, you want to take that back assembly and you want to bring it all the way down, just like that. As in step 10, you're gonna bring this nose cone, and you're gonna bring it all the way up, just like that. Now for step 11. I'm gonna take this nose cone here, I'm gonna rotate it all the way around, just like that. Step number 12. I'm gonna take this nose cone right here, I'm gonna bring it all the way down, just like that. Now in step 13, we're gonna grab Dirge. You have these arm pieces right there and right there. You got a hinge joint right there and right there. I'm going to swing everything in just like that. Get that to the other side, take the shoulder piece and swing it in just like that. Step number 14. You have this back assembly back here and you have this chest piece right there. Hinge joint right there. I'll bring this back assembly up just like that. One second, right to the chest. Step 15. You want to take the two leg pieces, you want to snap them together just like that. Step number 16. You have these leg panels right there and right there, and you got a hinge joint right there and right there. I want to go and bring these leg panels down just like that. I'm going to bring the other one down just like that. Step number 17. You have these thigh pieces right there and right there. You have the hollowed out leg piece right there and right there. You have a double hinge joint right there. You want to collapse the thigh right into the leg, just like that. Next in step 18, with these leg panels, we're going to close those up just like that. Now for step 19, we're going to turn Dirge all the way around. This top part right here, this bottom part right here, a couple tabs right there, and some portholes. Get it all in just like that. Step number 20. We're going to pick up Dirge, and on the bottom here you'll still see his feet right there. In the middle here you got a bunch of hinge joints. You want to take the front half of the foot and back of the foot, and you kind of want to make them meet in the middle just like that. Do it to the other side, go and collapse that, make them meet in the middle just like that. Step 21, so turn Dirge all the way around. These back wings right here, so go ahead and straighten them out just like that. Step number 22. On the back of Dirge right here, you'll see some blue panels that are sticking out right there and right there. All you do is go ahead and swing those in, just like that. For Dirge's 23rd and final step, all you're going to do is take these little wing pieces right there and right there. So you're going to bring them down just like that, and just like that. And now you have Dirge in his full jet mode. Now that Dirge in his jet mode and our display table, I just want to go over some of his play features and accessories. First, by talking about his null rays. And Dirge comes with 2 null rays, and according to the instructions, there's a way to arm Dirge with these null rays while he's in his jet mode. And you do that because at the bottom of these null rays, you have a 5mm peg. You turn Dirge over, at the bottom of his wing, you have a 5mm porthole. You plug these null rays right in those portholes, just like that, and just like that. And now you have Dirge armed in this jet mode. And this jet mode is fantastic. I mean, this jet mode has to be Dirge's definitive jet mode for any Dirge from all the series. I mean, he is fantastic. I don't have a masterpiece, so I'm speaking off just coming off of this figure. I mean, there's a lot of molded detail in the wings, in the actual jet. Some nice paint deco here and there. It's an orange translucent window where you kind of see the cockpit, and this jet is very faithful to the animated model from both the Generation 1 cartoon series and yes, Transformers the movie. He did make an appearance in Transformers the movie. Fantastic jet, I wish I had my Hankai Classics to do a side-by-side comparison. I do have my Generation 1, I'll bring that out right now. And Generation 1, usually I have to say the vehicle modes top any other editions of that Transformer. I mean, a lot of the cars from the Generation 1 from Series 1 outdid any of the later releases like War for Cybertron, Legacy, Studio Series. But I have to say, Dirge takes Generation 1 on this one because, I mean, the Legacy version of Dirge is fantastic, and I believe this is the redeco of a previously released Dirge for, I want to say, Kingdom or Legacy. It came in a 2-pack with Ramjet, and it was an Amazon exclusive. I never got my hands on it because they went pretty fast. And I'm glad they released this for Legacy Evolution. I'm hoping later down on the line they release Ramjet, because I do own Thrust, and that was released during Earthrise, and that was a Target exclusive. And it's a shame that that those figures were just limited to exclusives, and I'm glad they're bringing them main line, and maybe perhaps they'll bring out Thrust later on too. But with Generation 1 version of Dirge, is very lacking. If you look at the top here, there's a lot of gaps in the wings, and you got gaps in the two turbine engines in the back, or thruster engines in the back. It's just not a cool looking jet mode. And with Takara, when they brought out the Diaclone, which was later licensed in the United States and brought out as marketed as Transformers here in the United States, I would have to say, like, a lot of the alt modes and vehicle modes were fantastic, but with Dirge, it looks like they just took Thundercracker and just chipped away at some of his pieces, like his back fins. He still has that porthole for the back fin right here. I mean, he is pretty much Thundercracker, just with different wings. And I think to make him look different, when the cartoon series came out, they left the cone up instead of bringing it down, because in the instructions for Generation 1, you're supposed to bend the cone back, so he looked just like Thundercracker, just with different wings. And another thing that I noted was the little missile launchers for Dirge, and I thought they made a mistake when they released this version of Dirge, because I was like, well, the null rays were more meant for the Series 1 figures and Thrust, because they all came with the rocket launcher, and in robot mode they had the longer missile, and then jet mode is shorter missile, so I thought they made a mistake with that. But I reviewed some of the cartoon footage, and Dirge in the cartoon series did have the null ray, because when you look at the Generation 1 toy here, he has this longer missile right here. So he didn't really have the little rocket launcher with the long and short missile. So I thought that was a mistake on Hasbro and Takara's behalf when they brought out Legacy, but it wasn't, because this figure is based more on the Generation 1 cartoon series and the movie. So the null ray is in fact correct. It is the weapon that Dirge should be coming with when you're basing this on the anime model from the cartoon series and the movie. So I'm going to take the Generation 1 version of Dirge and put him off to the side, because I have to say they did a fantastic job with this figure, and I'm very happy with it. I'm going to rotate him out so you can see what it looks like from all angles. It's a fantastic figure. I kind of wish they put thrusters in the rear here. Well, other than that, this figure is fantastic. Now that I have Dirge in this robot mode and on my display table, I once again want to go over some of the display features and accessories. First, by talking about his null rays again. According to the instructions, there's also a way to arm Dirge while he's in his robot mode with these null rays. Like I mentioned earlier on, there's a 5mm peg on the bottom of his null ray. Well, each one of his shoulders is a 5mm porthole. So you go ahead and you stick this null ray right in that porthole just like that. I'm going to do that to you. So I stick it right in that porthole just like that. And now you have Dirge armed in his robot mode. And since robot mode is very nicely done, the one thing I don't really dig too much with all the jets, at least in this series, is you get that cone that kind of protrudes out. But I mean, with engineering, it's kind of hard to kind of disclose that cone. But they did a great job with the transformation otherwise. I mean, it's very faithful to the animated model from both the Generation 1 cartoon series and the movie. And the one thing that you'll notice is the paint decal is a little different than the animated series, because it's right here is a solid black, but in the cartoon series they made more of a gray color, and that's because black is very difficult to animate with details, so they kind of had to lighten up the color so they get some of that detail in there with that darker color. But Dirge is a great figure nonetheless, and he's very proportionate. I would have to say he's my definitive version of Dirge, and I am going to display him on my collection because of the scale. He scales really well, and he fits right into that whole War for Cybertron Studio Series Legacy scale system, and looks really, really nice. And I do have my Thrust on hand to do a side-by-side comparison. I never got my hands on that 2-pack that came out later on. You know, because Thrust came out, you know, during Earthrise, and they released a 2-pack with both Ramjet and Dirge later on. And I believe he might be a redeco of that figure, because they didn't do any tooling differences between the two Dirges. And I know that made a lot of collectors angry, because, you know, the aftermarket price for Dirge did drop a little bit because he became available mainstream. And I know Thrust came out for Target, and I don't know quantity-wise if he was readily available, because I got my hands on a couple of Thrusts. I have one in a package, and I have this one loose. So I did see a lot of thrusts on the shelves, so I knew that he was very abundant. But with the Amazon 2-pack though, that kind of went pretty fast, and couldn't get my hands on any. By the time I was able to find any, they were in the aftermarket and they're overinflated. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. Maybe sometime down the road they'll release Ramjet and Dirge, and they did with Legacy Evolution. Ramjet yet has to have a mainstream release, which I think it's gonna come soon, and maybe Thrust will too. But I'm counting on Ramjet coming out first because it was that 2-pack situation. Because now with that 2-pack with Prowl and Ironhide, they came out with Ironhide, and I'm expecting Prowl to come out very, very shortly. But this figure's really nicely done. And there's one thing I noted in the jet mode and also the robot mode with the toy. Let me go ahead and bring Generation 1 out. And my Dirge is transformed according to the instruction, because originally, I think the Conehead design was more something that the animators came out with, or Marvel Comics, Sunbow, or whoever. They came up with the Coneheads, because originally these figures were supposed to come out and look just like Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream with the cone bent backwards like this. And I think the animators wanted to distinguish the first 3 jets from the next 3 jets that came out in Series 2, so they animated them with cones that went up, which you can also do with your Generation 1 toy, as I'm showing you right now. And it doesn't look bad, and this is how I displayed my Dirge, Ramjet, and Thrust on for my Generation 1 toys. I had the cone up, then with Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream, the cone was down. I kind of want to stay very faithful to the cartoon series. But the one thing that was very different, I thought was a mistake with this version of Dirge, was the null rays right here. Here you see more of like a missile right here. And right here, this is more based on what came with Thundercracker, Skywarp, Starscream, and Thrust, with the little launchers with the longer missile for the robot mode and shorter one for the jet mode. Well, no, because when they animated Dirge for the anime series, they did give him these null rays. They did not animate him with these missiles. So this figure is very cartoon accurate and very faithful to the animated model, which I'm very happy about. And he is my definitive version of Dirge. I do not own a masterpiece version of Dirge, so I can't really go off whether or not he's probably the definitive Dirge, but he is my definitive Dirge. I am going to display him on my shelves. But if you guys found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Steele's Awesome Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.